So the next question I got was, what is the most common running injury you see, and also what is the best way to avoid it? With a lot of the research that I've been doing around about injuries, they tend to fall into two different types. The younger runner tends to get like an overuse injury, whereas the Masters runner tends to get more of like a tendinous structure. So for example, in the Masters we see a lot of Achilles tendon, see a lot of like foot symptoms, we see a lot of hamstring tendons. Tends to be where there's a change in the structure with the aging process. Also, what we tend to see as well with the Masters athlete is that there's a natural like phenomenon as what's called like sarcopenia, which is the wasting of muscle. So basically, if you're not using your muscles, you're going to lose the ability to use them. And a lot of that tends to happen in the feet. So a lot of the structure in the feet, or the foot strength, tends to be reduced. Therefore, there's a lot of like pressure put onto the plantar fascia at the bottom of the foot itself. So that tends to be something we see quite commonly as well. Also, with the way that our feet are protected in certain shoes, we don't tend to recruit the whole of the foot, so we don't actually pronate the foot as well as what we would like. Because the foot's got about 33 joints in it, we need to be making sure that all these little joints are moving well within each other, and also at the same time to provide that roll effect from the outside board of the heel over onto the big toe itself, and then propel ourselves forward. So with the stiffness in the foot or any change in the mechanics about there, extra places get overloaded, and that tends to be sometimes on the Achilles tendon itself. So I do see a lot of Achilles tendon pain, and when I do see them, I tend to push them more toward how can we get their foot moving better, and also look at what their calf strength's like. So for example, if somebody's going with Achilles tendon pain, I'd be looking at what their capacity of their calf is like, and that's looking at the gastrocs when the leg is stiff, i.e. leg locked out, and looking at the soleus when the knee's bent. I'd also look at what their foot function is like as well. Can they do toe yoga where they're able to lift the big toe and keep the other four down, and then lift the other four toes and keep the big toe down? So looking at that strength first of all. I then go in and have a look at how does the foot actually supinate and pronate in a what we call an open chain, where it's not in contact with the ground. And then I get into a step drill where I'm looking at how does that foot move when they step forward. So it's basically like a walking pattern, but it's broken down into one phase. I then look at how does the arch lift and how does the arch settle down, and what happens to the calcaneus when all this is happening. So there's a few different areas I look at. But to go back to the original question, the most common injury I tend to see in Masters runners is Achilles tendonitis. We tend to find also that it's not so much overtraining, but it might be under recovering. We have seen that recovery in the Masters athletes tends to take a little bit longer than in the under 30s. So for example, if you're doing a training session which is fast on a Tuesday night and then fast again on a Thursday, then say you've got a faster park run on a Saturday, you're only leaving like one day in between these intense sessions, and we sometimes find it takes about 48 to even to 48 to 72 hours of recovery before you actually feel your tendons back down to normal. So yeah, that would be my key bit of advice. So summary is, look at how your foot functions, what is your calf strength, and also what is your recovery like. That would be my 3 top tips for any injury management in the Masters athlete, and that's what I commonly see in the clinic. For further information, please reach out to me at james@spearphysiotherapy.co.uk or at PhysioRun on Instagram, or you can go to www.physiorun.net.